The role of an office assistant is central to the smooth operation of any organization. Whether it's managing schedules, handling correspondence, or supporting teams with administrative duties, office assistants are often the backbone of day-to-day activities. Because this role is so essential, interviewers don't just focus on your technical skills like typing speed or software knowledge. They also want to know how you handle multitasking, communication, problem-solving, and time management. In this video, we'll go through some of the most common office assistant interview questions. For each, you'll get a sense of why employers ask it, followed by a sample response introduced with, "Here's how you can answer." We'll also share useful tips along the way so you can prepare thoroughly and present yourself as a confident, reliable, and organized professional. Question 1. Can you tell us about your background and experience as an office assistant? This is usually the first question, designed to get an overview of your work history and skills. Here's how you can answer. In my previous role as an office assistant, I supported a team of 15 employees by managing schedules, preparing documents, and coordinating office supplies. I also handled phone calls and greeted visitors, which allowed me to strengthen my customer service skills. Over time, I became proficient in tools like Microsoft Office and Google Workspace. My experience has taught me to stay organized, adapt quickly, and support different departments as needed. Question 2. How do you prioritize tasks when you have multiple deadlines? Employers want to know if you can manage time effectively. Here's how you can answer. I usually start my day by reviewing all my tasks and identifying what's most urgent and important. For example, if I have to prepare meeting materials and also update a filing system, I'll focus on the meeting materials first because they're time sensitive. I use checklists and calendars to stay on top of deadlines. If I ever feel that priorities are unclear, I check with my supervisor to confirm which tasks should come first. This helps ensure everything gets done efficiently. Question 3. How do you handle interruptions while working on an important task? Since office assistants often deal with sudden requests, this question evaluates your flexibility. Here's how you can answer. When interruptions come up, I try to assess whether they are urgent. If a colleague needs something immediately, I pause my task, help them, and then return to what I was working on. If it's something that can wait, I make a note and schedule time for it later. For example, once while I was preparing reports, a manager asked for quick assistance with printing. I helped them within a few minutes and then went back to the reports without losing focus. Question 4. Can you describe your experience with office software and technology? This question measures your technical skills. Here's how you can answer. I'm highly comfortable using Microsoft Office applications like Word, Excel, and Outlook. I also have experience with scheduling software and cloud tools such as Google Drive and Slack. For instance, in my last job, I used Excel to track office expenses and Outlook to schedule meetings for multiple managers. I'm quick to learn new systems, and I make sure to stay updated on any software the office relies on. Question 5. How do you ensure accuracy in your work? Accuracy is important because office assistants often deal with records, schedules, and reports. Here's how you can answer. I double-check my work before finalizing it, whether it's sending an email or compiling a report. I also rely on tools like spell check and formatting features to minimize errors. For example, when I prepared monthly expense summaries, I cross-verified the numbers with invoices before submitting them. Being detail-oriented ensures my work is reliable and error-free. Question 6. How do you handle confidential information? Discretion is key for office assistants who often deal with sensitive documents. Here's how you can answer. I treat confidential information with the utmost care. I follow company policies on data handling, such as locking files, restricting access, and not discussing sensitive matters outside of work. For instance, I once worked with HR records that included employee details, and I made sure all documents were securely stored. Confidentiality is essential to building trust in the workplace. Question 7. How would you handle a difficult coworker or manager? This question tests your interpersonal skills. Here's how you can answer. If I encounter a difficult coworker, I remain professional and respectful. I focus on the task at hand rather than personal differences. For example, I once worked with a colleague who was often impatient. Instead of reacting negatively, I made sure to communicate clearly and deliver my work on time. If the situation ever becomes too challenging, I believe in calmly addressing it or involving a supervisor if necessary. Question 8. How do you stay organized with so many responsibilities? Organization is a must-have skill for office assistants. Here's how you can answer. I use tools like planners, task lists, and digital reminders to keep track of everything. I also keep my workspace tidy so I can find things quickly. For example, when managing multiple projects, I create folders, both physical and digital, so all documents are easy to locate. Staying organized helps me save time and reduces mistakes. Question 9. Can you describe a time you solved a problem at work? Problem solving shows initiative and resourcefulness. Here's how you can answer. Once, a client came in for a meeting, but the reserved conference room was already occupied. Instead of letting them wait, I quickly arranged an alternate room, set up the materials, and informed the manager right away. The client appreciated the smooth handling, and the meeting went on without delay. I believe in finding quick, practical solutions whenever unexpected issues arise. Question 10. Why do you want to work as an office assistant at this company? This question tests motivation and cultural fit. Here's how you can answer. I want to work here because I admire the company's focus on teamwork and professionalism. I see this role as an opportunity to contribute to smooth operations while developing my administrative skills further. I'm particularly drawn to your emphasis on employee growth and customer service, which align with my values. I believe I can add value by keeping processes organized and supporting your teams effectively. Tips for success in office assistant interviews. Be ready to provide real-life examples from past experiences. Highlight both your technical skills, like software use, and soft skills, like communication. Show that you're reliable, adaptable, and detail-oriented. Practice clear and confident communication. It reflects well in interviews. Demonstrate enthusiasm for supporting the team and keeping the office running smoothly. Final thoughts. The office assistant role may not always be in the spotlight, but it is vital for keeping everything running seamlessly in an organization. Interviewers are looking for candidates who are organized, adaptable, trustworthy, and proactive in their approach. Preparing thoughtful responses that showcase your skills and experience will help you stand out as someone ready to handle the demands of the job. As you prepare, remember that your answers should reflect not just what you've done, but how you do it, with professionalism, accuracy, and efficiency. By combining practical examples with a positive attitude, you'll show that you are not only ready for the role of an office assistant, but also eager to grow and contribute to the success of the organization.